I always thought cheating was something that happened to other people. The kind of thing you read about online or hear secondhand through a friend of a friend. Not something that could happen to me. Not something she would ever do. We were married for 9 years. Her name's Melissa. And for most of those years, I would have sworn to anyone that we were happy. We met at a friend's wedding. She spilled wine on my shirt and spent the next 10 minutes apologizing and laughing nervously. I fell for her that night. Fast. Hard. The kind of falling that makes you blind to anything that could possibly go wrong. Melissa was smart. Funny in a subtle, observant kind of way. She worked as a speech therapist and loved helping kids. I'm in construction. Blue collar, calloused hands, early mornings. But we made it work. Somehow. She used to make me coffee every morning. Nothing fancy, just how I liked it. Black, a bit of sugar. She'd leave it on the counter while I got ready for work. Some mornings she'd kiss my cheek. Other mornings she'd still be in bed. But the cup would be there, waiting. It became our quiet ritual. Until it stopped. Little things first, like most stories like this. Fewer texts during the day. Her laughter started sounding rehearsed. She stopped asking me how my day was. She still made coffee, but it started coming from a machine with a timer. And there was no kiss. I noticed, but I didn't want to make it a thing. Everyone says marriage has its phases. I figured this was one of them. I was wrong. It started on a Sunday night. I walked into the room and she jumped, like actually flinched, when I touched her shoulder. Her phone lit up on the couch beside her. She grabbed it quickly, said it was just a work message. She turned it face down. That was the moment I knew. Not suspected. Not guessed. Knew. For the next week I watched. Not obsessively. Just enough. She stayed late at work twice. Said she was tired every night. Her phone barely left her side. And when it did, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. I could see it in her eyes. Guilt or something like it. I didn't have to snoop. I knew it was there. But a part of me needed proof. So one night I waited until she was asleep. Her phone was under her pillow. I carefully slid it out, unlocked it with her fingerprint while she slept. And there it was. A name I didn't recognize. Tom. Messages. Pictures. Memories they were building behind my back. Complaints about me. Jokes about our marriage. Plans to meet again. I stared at that screen for what felt like hours. She stirred in her sleep and said my name, like it was any other night. I quietly left the room, walked outside, and sat on the porch until morning. When the sun came up, I walked back inside. She was still asleep. I sat at the kitchen table, her phone in front of me. My coffee was already brewing, out of habit, I guess. When she walked into the kitchen and saw me with her phone, her face turned pale. "We need to talk," I said. She didn't say anything at first. Just sat down across from me. I handed her the phone. "How long?" I asked. She didn't lie. "A few months." I asked her if she loved him. She shook her head. Said it was a mistake. That she felt lost. That he was just there. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just listened. And when she was done, I told her I needed space. Time to think. She nodded. We were both quiet for a long time. I packed a bag that day and left for my brother's place. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering how you go from sharing a life to sharing lies. The days after that were slow, quiet. I didn't feel anger right away, just a dull ache, like something had been removed from me without warning. My brother gave me space, didn't ask questions. He just handed me a beer and turned on the game. That was enough. I called in sick for a few days. Couldn't face the crew. Couldn't pretend like things were normal. I spent hours walking around his neighborhood, through nearby parks, just trying to understand, trying to breathe. She texted me. Not long paragraphs. Just, "I'm sorry. I miss you. Please come home." I didn't answer. I needed clarity. I needed me back. It wasn't until the 5th night that I broke down. Alone. Sitting on the floor of the guest room. Staring at an old photo of us on a beach vacation. We looked happy. And maybe we were. Or maybe we just didn't know what was coming. I let it all out. The pain. the confusion, the helplessness. Not because I wanted her back, but because I finally accepted that the life I thought I had was over. And only after that could something new begin. I started going for early morning runs. Nothing fancy, just through the neighborhood, sometimes to the park and back. Cleared my head. Gave me something to look forward to. My body ached at first, but in a way that reminded me I was alive. I reconnected with old friends. Had beers with guys I hadn't seen since high school. Laughed for real. Listened more than I talked. Realized how isolated I'd let myself become over the years. Melissa texted less. Eventually stopped altogether. I started journaling. Just a sentence a day at first. Then full pages. Not to make sense of her, but to make sense of me. One entry read, "You don't heal by going back to what broke you." Another, "It wasn't my failure. It was her choice." And then one day, I woke up and realized I hadn't thought of her at all the day before. Not once. That's when I knew I was finally moving on. I took a weekend trip. Just me, my truck, and a cabin I found on a rental app. I brought a stack of books I hadn't touched in years. Left my phone on airplane mode. Hiked during the day. Cooked over a fire. Wrote pages and pages in my journal. It was the first time in a long time I felt like I was living, not just surviving. That trip changed something in me. I came back more focused. Started saving for my own place. Began seeing a therapist every other week. Not because I was broken, but because I wanted to understand myself better. Healing isn't linear. Some days I still felt the weight, but I kept moving. Last month I signed the divorce papers. Clean break. No kids, no court battles. Just the end of a chapter. A week after that, I stood in my new apartment. Bare walls. Second-hand couch. A single framed photo on the shelf. Me and my dad at a fishing dock when I was 10. That day we caught nothing but sunburns. Still one of the best days of my life. That photo reminded me who I was before all of this. I'm learning to like that guy again. The pain didn't vanish. It won't. But it changed shape. Became something I carry without letting it crush me. And in its place, I've started planting something new. Peace. Purpose. The quiet kind of happiness that comes from knowing you survived something that tried to destroy you. This isn't the life I planned. But it's real. It's mine. And for now, that's enough. But here's the thing no one tells you about healing. It's not just about forgetting. It's about learning to live with memory. About letting scars remind you, not define you. One afternoon, I got a call from Melissa's mom. We hadn't spoken since the separation. She said she wasn't calling to intervene, just that she missed me. Said I'd always been like a son to them. That broke something in me, not in a bad way, just made me realize how wide the ripples of pain go. She didn't bring up Melissa. Neither did I. We just talked about the garden I helped her build 2 summers ago. The way her tomatoes never grew quite right. She laughed and I laughed too. And I hung up feeling more human than I had in weeks. A few days later, I found a dusty guitar in the back of my brother's garage. I used to play in college. Badly. But it felt good to hold it again. I started strumming in the evenings. Playing to no one. Singing to the silence. It's weird. The things that bring you back to life. I even started volunteering, helping build decks for veterans who couldn't afford repairs. It felt right, using my hands for something other than pain. One of the guys, an older vet named Sam, told me, "Sometimes the best way to fix yourself is to fix something else first." He was right. Months passed. Seasons changed. And one day, I ran into Melissa. It was at a grocery store. Of all places. We locked eyes. She gave me a small, cautious smile. I nodded back. We didn't speak. Just kept walking. And you know what? It didn't hurt. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I wasn't even numb. I was okay. And in that moment, I knew I was free. Freedom doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's just peace. A calm morning. A laugh that doesn't carry weight. A night's sleep without dreams that leave you aching. I still think about everything that happened. But not every day. Not with bitterness. Just with truth. This was my story. Not the one I wanted. But the one I lived. and I'm proud I survived it. If you're going through something similar, hear this: you're not alone. You're not weak for feeling broken. You're not foolish for trusting. And you will find yourself again. You just have to keep walking. One morning, 1 mile, one honest breath at a time.